Well, who cares you looking like that? All right, y'all. Oh, they both got it. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. When others shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Well, praise be to you. Let's get this Psalms 87. You next, Bird. It's going to be me and you. I'm putting trademarks on your butt. I heard you've been known to get in a tussle with two. His foundation is in the Kadash Mountains. You will love the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Esteemed things are spoken of you, O Sea, Elohim, Selah. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This was born there. And of Zion it shall be said, this and that man was born in her. And the highest himself established her. Yahuwah shall count when he write up the people. This was born there, Selah, as well the singers as the players on instruments. All my springs in you. Let's see, look at this here, right? Let's look at verse 4 in Psalms 87 real quick, man. Before we get back over here to Lamentation. Now, you got make mention, right? You have zakar, which is to call, recall, to bring to mind. He said he will make mention or recall Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. What do you believe that means? Of course, them that know me is Yada, which is those who know. Malik. Oh, Michael ain't paying attention. I was never left Psalms 87. Before. Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all ain't got nothing for it.
I don't have nothing for it. Wish I had more to offer.
Anyone? I'll take that as a no. Well, Sean says the rememberings of captivities come to mind. Let's take a look at Jeremiah 16. So you can pick it up at verse 1, man. I work my way around. Jeremiah 16:1. The word of Yahuwah came also unto me, saying, you shall not take you a wife, neither shall you have a son or daughters in this place. But thus saith Yahuwah concerning the sons, and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried. They shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. They shall be consumed with the sword, and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. Of course, this is referencing when you were going into Babylon. This is also where you can see a basis of this right here. Pause. Matthew chapter 19. You can pick it up at 19 and 8. Well, make it 19 and 7. Well, shoot, we'll just do one for the whole context. It might be somebody who don't know. 19 and 1. It came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Yehuda beyond Jordan. Great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? He answered and said unto them, now this is where I want to make sure y'all on point. Tavon, why was their question disingenuous?
Honestly, I was just messing with my kids, so I didn't really catch up.
Do you know why their question was disingenuous? Not necessarily. I don't think they knew the answer. I think they knew that it was a what's the word I'm looking for? It was asked in bad faith. Do you know why their question was disingenuous?
I guess they were trying to see how they could answer it.
Yeah, I say that they knew the answer with Kenny. So it's kind of like they're asking questions, try to trip them up.
No, that's accurate. But I'm really the underlying part of the specificity of why their question was disingenuous, because they knew the answer. But what is the answer of what made their question disingenuous? What you say? You got something to share? Ruth say you do.
So they're trying to make them undermine the law.
To an extent. To an extent. Do any of you gentlemen understand why it was a disingenuous question?
Outside of because they already knew the answer to it, I don't know.
Do you understand why this was a disingenuous question? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna point out the part. This is the point of where you know this was a disingenuous question. They said his wife for every cause. The law details specifically what it is that you can put her away for. And it's only one matter. That's what made the question disingenuous. Because that's why I said they knew the answer to an extent, but it's more the specific reason. Go to Deuteronomy 24, because you looking like you don't know what we're talking about. You don't know what we're talking about. What we talking
We'll say it's hard in the yard.
about? Send this nigga to summer school. That nigga go to summer school. Deuteronomy 24 and 1. We just gonna fail, Alicia though.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Cool.
Me?
Shoot, unless you paying for a grade, nigga, you fail. And we don't take cash out. When a man have, this is Deuteronomy 24:1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanliness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. Let's take a look at favor. Let's take a look at bill of divorcement. I mean, not bill of divorcement. Uncleanliness. Number one, when it says no favor. Of course, you know favor is con. So what is that? No acceptance. He has not found her pleasant in his eyesight, and the reason why she is not pleasant is because of uncleanliness. What is uncleanliness? This is erva. What is this? This is nakedness, nudity, shame, nakedness of a thing, indecency, improper behavior. This is why they question is disingenuous, because they're saying for any cause, because they're going to try to take that improper behavior and make it fit for anything that that man deems to be improper. That's why that was a real disingenuous question for them to ask. Look at what the Lord tell him. Matthew 19:4. Have you any answered and said unto them, have you not read that he which made at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave to his wife. They twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore there are no more twain but one flesh. What therefore Elohim have joined together, let no man put asunder. You know, I keep hearing niggas talking about, when women have sex, you become one flesh. You're not one flesh with somebody because you have sex with them. I don't know why people are just intently on believing that there is some type of sexual connotation of having sex. They say you become one, so you say one flesh. So that's carnal. There's nothing spiritual about it. People like sex is a spiritual experience. There's nothing spiritual about coitus. Nothing spiritual about it whatsoever. You know what I'm talking about? All niggas done did is took their perverted things and tried to make having sex a spiritual practice for the purpose of witchcraft. But sex is a carnal activity. You're not spiritually moved to have sex. You're moved to have sex because you have a fleshly desire for physical release, for the purpose of procreation. How can you have a spiritual practice that the purpose of it is for procreation? I mean, let me put it to you this way, Craig. You can divorce anybody at any time for whatever you want to. You know what I'm talking about? But you can't marry nobody while they're still alive. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, he gonna mention it, but truth be told, in those times, a woman couldn't divorce her husband anyway. So that wasn't a statement also that was made for. But Paul goes into what you talking about, Craig. If you got a woman and she don't follow the word, but you pleased to have her in your house, he say, you know what I'm saying? You keep around now. He like, the Lord ain't telling you to get rid of your wife, but he like, but if she gonna be in there and that household ain't gonna be peaceful, he said, you gonna get that nigga up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. 1 Corinthians 7. Let me show Brother Craig what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can divorce, you can get rid of your wife, whatever you want. First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10. Yeah, but you just can't remarry. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people, they gonna go to hell just for that. There's a lot of adulterers and adulteresses out here. You know what I'm saying? And people who have been married and they went and married somebody else while their spouse was still alive. Whether they knew it or whether they didn't know it, and according to the law, is irrelevant. Because that man told you, Paul wrote that and say those who not have the law will perish with the law, and those without the law will perish without the law. And those of you who are skillful in the understanding, you know exactly where that take you to. Because them Canaanites perished without the law. Them Hivites and Perizzites and Girgashites all perished without the law. You know what I'm talking about? Without the law. So that don't matter. Paul didn't get out of his booty hole. He got that because he know the law. So yeah, that just is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? Your forefathers perished with it because he just told you there'll be dung on the ground. If the sword didn't get in the pestilence war. So that don't mean nothing. But guess what? More people than, let me tell you something, man. People like, man, you got to hit people with the truth. I seen a nigga come with that junk today. You know, the New Year's in the summertime and things like, you niggas idiots. I talked to them, dog. I just shared some of them junk with the brother from Memphis last night, man, just to give him a quick one, bro. You know the Celtics, the Celts, you know when their New Year's is? On the festival Hassan Hamain. I know you know what Hassan Hamain is. You know what that is? You don't know what that is. You know what that is? I'm stirred. Roll your eyes again, nigga. Nigga, put you in the figure 4 leg lock. Yes, sir. Y'all know what that is? You know what it is. Some of y'all, that was your favorite holiday. No.
Hey, it's only funny.
Shalom, man.
I ain't mad at you. No, I'm not, bro. 2 and 2, I got you, but it's deeper.
It was some of y'all favorite holiday for the kids. Halloween. That's the Celtics New Year, October 31st. You know when I told you the Arabs got a new year, the Islamic New Year is in July. You know what I'm talking about? The Jewish New Year is in September. You know what I'm talking about? Chinese New Year is in February. All these people got their own New Year, man. Like I was telling the brother last night, man. I think I told y'all this last night also. These people, matter of fact, I'll just read it to you. Just hold on. It's right here in Jeremiah 2. See, they think Yahuwah just be talking, but Yahuwah don't be talking. Yahuwah be trying to tell you what it is, but we don't like to listen. I give you Jeremiah 2 and 4 because, matter of fact, make it 2 and 3 because that's how you get down. I got your brother Craig. Give me 1 second. Jeremiah 2 and 3. Yasharal was Kadash unto Yahuwah, the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend, evil shall come upon him, saith Yahuwah. Hear ye the word of Yahuwah, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Yasharal. Thus saith Yahuwah, what iniquity have your fathers found in me? Uh-oh. That man say, what sin they found in me? That they've gone far from me and have walked after vanity and become vain. Neither said they, where is Yahuwah that brought us up out of the land of Mizraim? Well, there goes another point of what we were going to deal with in Jeremiah 16. That led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, where no man dwelt. I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof, the goodness thereof. But when you entered, you defiled my land and made my inheritance an abomination. The priest said not, where is Yahuwah? They that handle the law knew me not. Pastors transgressed against me. The prophets prophesied by Baal and walked after things that do not profit. Wherefore will I yet plead with you, saith Yahuwah, and with your sons' will I plead. For pass over the isles of Shittim and see, and send unto Kedar, and consider diligently, see if there be such a thing. Have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their esteem for that which do not profit. These people ain't changed their God. You have, though, and ain't got nothing for it. You know what I'm talking about? And again, that's what I'm telling you. You come back to 1 Corinthians 7, that's the deification of Mr. Charlie. See, a lot of black folks, you done deified Mr. Charlie, whole culture, that you think the world is beholden to his culture. I just go to tell you that people don't read, they don't study, and most importantly, they've never been around other people of other races. I've been around every nationality of people on the earth. And one thing that I noticed, that if they don't get Americanized, boy, they stick to what they came with. I've been around Cambodian, they stick to what they came with. I've been around Vietnamese, they stick to what they came with. I done been around some Africans, they stick to what they came with. I've been around some Arab, they stick to what they came with. They don't change their culture just because they're over here. They use these people's stuff for business purposes only. You ain't lie. He said, come on now. He said, come reason with me. He said, he gave you a chance to put the blame on him and you couldn't do it. And you know what the gangster part is? Boy, Yahuwah done said that in this book at least about 10 times. What sin you found in me, boy? Say something about it. See, a lot of people don't like that when somebody look at him and say, what evil have I done? Remember when David said that to his brothers? What have I done now? There is no cause. You know what I'm talking about? You got something to say, what have I actually done? That's what I mentioned last night. With most dudes. Most dudes be mad with dudes, and the dude ain't actually even did nothing to him. Nigga feelings be hurt. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't called me, bro. You ain't come see me. Nigga, am I your old lady? Nigga, am I hitting you? Nigga, what's wrong with you? Have you not heard grown men cry about stuff like that before? I bet y'all done heard it. You done had a grown nigga cry to you talking about you ain't calling. The hell you got going on, nigga? How does another man not calling you make you sad? And that ain't your daddy, granddaddy, uncle, or son. Because if you wanted that nigga, you wanted to talk to that nigga that bad, you could have picked up the phone and say, boy, I ain't heard from you, boy. But I just want to make sure you all right, man. Come holler at your nigga when you're free. How difficult is that? Reason why I say this here, because this is something me and my homeboy understood when we was in our 20s hustling, because you started seeing it with hustling. We all hustling on different sides of town. So then you get to understand something. The older you get, you know what ends up happening? You might get a wife. You get a wife, you know what's usually going to happen? You might have some churn. But you're not going to have time to hang with them niggas like you hung with them niggas when you was 16, 17, 20, 21 years old. And niggas be mad because you at home with your churn and your wife. You want me to sit out here with you getting drunk. I don't want to get drunk no more. I got the ugly behind churn in here. I got to go talk to him. I don't want to talk to these kids. But I made them, so I got to talk to them. You know what I'm talking about? They be like this, oh, that nigga acting different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nigga, I'm grown. But it's not that hard, though. Most men know, boy, that nigga got responsibilities. If that's your nigga and you ain't heard from him, you gonna hit him up. Hey, boy, you all right, boy? I ain't talk to you. You ain't gonna be like, man, that nigga acting funny. Now you walk around here with a grudge. Well, I actually had a nigga told me he felt like I had a problem with him based on how I shook his hand. I said, nigga, ought to slap the taste out your mouth. What type of junk is that, man? That's not manhood. Is that right, Bird? That ain't right, is it? You know what is right? It's bomb. That was right. Come on back to 1 Corinthians chapter 7. 7 and 8. I say, therefore, to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn. And the married, I said, not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband. Notice where he let that in, that he's not speaking his opinion. See, the verse before that, he was saying it's good if they could do it as I did. See, we're going to get back to this because that's in the Matthew 19. He said, but if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. Now, you know that's going with the word. Of course, we're dealing with Yahuwah. Of course, Deuteronomy 24 was put in place to protect Yasharal, not for you and your woman. Because, see, if there wasn't a bill of divorcement, then guess what the only recourse is? Death. But see, these boys so carnal and so evil, and all they can look at is, this is the crazy part with me, right? Hebrews will tell you, put that woman away. Why are you marrying women you knew you were going to have to divorce in the first place? That's what a lot of these niggas do. But you know how many dudes I know on my page be posting about, I need a wife. You ain't never going to get one. Ain't no woman in the world going to marry you. Nigga, you desperate. You on Facebook talking about, I need a woman in the truth. That's going to reel them in. You know what I'm talking about? And for real, there be niggas on there crying. You see niggas do that? You probably see more niggas than I do. You might ain't got them niggas on there no more. You see some broke niggas crying for a while? Well, it's one on my page. That nigga do that junk at least twice a week. At least twice a week. Oh, you talking about Drew? Yeah, Drew be going hard, man. He get lonely. Yeah, he get a little lonely sometimes, man. You know what I'm saying? But there's a thing though. That's not inspiring and engendering any confidence in your leadership abilities that you that desperate for a woman. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't gonna get one. The Lord ain't gonna give you one. He know you can't do nothing with it. Let's keep it rolling. He said, but to the rest I speak I, not the Lord. If any brother have a wife, now listen what he's telling you. He's offering his opinion. He said, if any brother have a wife that believe not, and she is pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. If the woman which have a husband that believe not, and he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Notice that there's a difference. The wife can never put away her husband. She doesn't have that type of authority. All she can do is leave. So you actually can't divorce anyone. You can just leave. See, the only difference of what you have in this country is they incentivize you for leaving. In every other culture, you leave, you get nothing. You know what I'm saying? See, they quote unquote say they did this in the 1940s and 50s because all the women were housewives and they didn't have no money. But if you study historically in America, that is a falsehood that the mass majority of women were housewives. Women have worked in this country for an extended period of time. You know what I'm talking about? They're in the workforce more now than say back then. But that is definitely a historical fallacy that the mass majority of women in this time period were housewives. And most people believe that. Don't you see all these people talking about we need to go back to women being housewives? Man, that junk was some junk they sold you on TV. Most women in this country weren't housewives. They'll try to tell you, oh, they stopped being housewives during World War II when all the men went off to war and the ladies had to work and the stuff and this, that, there, and the third. But most of them women have been working. Just like they want to talk to you about women wasn't making no money. Do you know what time period Madam C.J. Walker was living in? Do y'all even know who that is? Who that is then? That lady was a millionaire in the early 1900s. Come on, man. Mary McLeod, Bethune started the whole college. She was in the college. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm just telling you this here, like they spin a narrative that is not necessarily historically backed. They tell you all the women were barefoot and pregnant. Nah, not all of them. Some of them ladies had baby went to work. So they had different type of jobs though. Most of them were maids. Some may have been nurses. You know what I'm saying? Did all type of stuff. Because you'll have a lot of you have women say, especially in them groups, black women ain't never been housewives. A lot of them were. Some of them weren't. They make you want to believe every white woman was a housewife. I don't know where they get that from. I know where they get it from. They were watching Leave It to Beaver. You know what I'm talking about? But nah. Everybody wasn't like his mama, stayed at home. A lot of white women worked. I don't know where they get that from. You know what I'm talking about? They didn't make it seem like white women just been living in this country with their feet up, living lavishly. That's just not the truth. It's only a handful of white people that got some manner of wealth. A lot of them poor too. I already know. I already be knowing, man. People be spending something because they just want to believe something. I mean, even in ancient times, a woman just didn't sit around the house and do nothing. She had to do whatever was that was beneficial to the family, not just, we just sit here and do nothing. That's not how that worked. You know what I'm saying? That's new age stuff. That's really just because you have a generation of lazy people, men and women. I just know talking about niggas need to stop being concerned with paying all the bills. That don't sound like a wife. That sounds like a daughter. That's how some niggas feel. I just look at it as, nigga, you should have been paying all the bills whether you had this woman around here or not. You know what I'm talking about? That means if you need her to go half on the bill, that means you can't afford to live the way you want to live. That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas feel, I ain't taking care of this woman. Sure, you were taking care of yourself, nigga. She coming into what you got going on. But what do these niggas want to do? They want to take their part and bring it with her part and say, let's split it. See, I'm not doing that. Because I could have just stayed over here paying my part. Just left you over there. And just had quarters with you from time to time. Because y'all know y'all ain't going to listen to a nigga you splitting the bills with. You ain't gonna listen to him out the wild. Not all women, but most women ain't gonna listen. First time he say something she don't like, it's the first thing she, nigga, I pay half the rent anyway. Nigga, I'm going out of town. That nigga be like, you ain't going on that trip? Okay, nigga. Make sure you got your half of the rent. I'll be back on Thursday. Now you sitting there mad. Yeah, I mean, but white women didn't want a separation from their husband. That's another historical fallacy. White women didn't start feminism to lead their husbands. They started feminism because they wanted to be equal. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they started it for. White women ain't never said that we don't need our man. All women did. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. And that junk ain't just started neither. Niggas act like that junk started in the 80s and the 90s. Man, it's been single mothers in the black community and the white community since the 1920s, nigga. A lot of y'all know full well y'all got some uncles or great granddaddies who was raised by somebody and they found out that wasn't their mama. Talking about they thought they auntie was their mama. You know what I'm talking about? The whole time that's their auntie and they ain't know it. Because your mama got pregnant young and they shipped her behind off and sent you around here and you was raised by a whole nother nigga. You looking at me like you ain't familiar with these type of stories. You familiar with these type of stories? Oh, this stuff used to happen all the time. Huh? Oh yeah, I met niggas who, yeah, that was their story. Mama got knocked up young. They sent her away. She had that baby. She came back without that baby. You know what I'm talking about? That baby got raised by a whole other family member. And the whole time they thinking that who raised them was his parent. Because that was shame to the family for you to come home pregnant and you wasn't married. Or not even close to being married to the nigga who got you pregnant. Because if you got pregnant back then and you wasn't married, y'all would get married the next day. Because they looked at it, if you loved him enough to hunt him, you're going to love him enough to marry him.
My grandmother said that's what they did. Yeah. He was like the oldest brother was his cousin. He was really the firstborn, the oldest. But the sister had a baby young. So since his mama and daddy was married,
yeah, sent him on over there.
She took her younger sister baby. And I guess that was also to take one for the family.
Kira said for her great grandma, when she was 14, that was her reality, 1934. That junk happened a lot with black people. White people did it too, though. Because that junk was just shame and dishonor to the family. People ain't play them type of games. You know what I'm saying? They just, like I said, I'm not saying that, I'm not going to say they didn't play them type of games, but they didn't want that shame to be publicly known. So they would cover that up.
Sure, that's kind of like what LeBron did.
Yeah, they gonna cover that up. You know what I'm saying? That's shame. We're not gonna do it. You gonna marry this nigga, or we gonna send you out of town. Like once you found out you were pregnant, they wasn't finna let you stay around there long enough for nobody to see you showing. They were gonna put you on a bus and a train and get you out of here. You know what I'm saying? And then they've been told everybody, oh, where Michael at? Oh yeah, she went to go see such and such up there in Greensville. And you come back, you done had the baby. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody the wiser. And you just going to live your life like you ain't had no son that you left up there in South Carolina. You know what I'm talking about? You had 2-3 more children sitting there wondering what Johnny doing. Worrying about your son. Don't see that nigga till he 30. You looking at him talking about, oh, yeah, I'm your auntie. Whole time, that's my son. Look at it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She said grandma said she would hide when she see the school kids walk by. That's when we lived in a society where shame was still prevalent. Ain't no more shame now. These hoes proud to be a baby mama. For real. They asked the question of these women, man, do they even want to be married? Was marriage still the goal? A lot of them like, no. I mean, how these people looking? Do you think most of the people y'all know want to be married? You think most of your friends want to be married? I'm talking about based on how they live and the choices that they make. Yeah, but that's the thing though. She took her to realize that, but before that, she clearly didn't want to be married because if she did, she would have nipped that in the bud sooner. No, I get that. But see, that's my point. If she really wanted to be married, after about 6 months, and she seen that nigga was on some other type of time based on the different from what they discussed, she'd have left. She wouldn't have dwelt with him for as long as she dwelt with him. That's what I'm talking about. You may have wanted to, but your actions showing that that's not what you want.
No, I get what you said, but that goes to what you were talking about last night about giving men chances. So I ain't gonna say not knowing no better, but she's like, okay, well, keep doing this.
Yeah, let me give him a chance.
Right, exactly.
Let me give him a chance. Saying all it is she just chancely showed that she was stupid.
Right, and that's something she understands that. That's why she's just like, cut my losses.
And I get it, cut the losses, but when we get to the root and strip it away, she ain't really want to be married as bad as she say she does. You know what I'm saying?
That's why Kevin Samuels be asking them how long you was with the last nigga. As soon as niggas say years, it's like at that point
you didn't want to be married. You were enthralled with the idea, but to actually be like, you know what? I'll walk away from this right here to actively pursue what I actually want. Nah, most people don't want to do that.
it's easier than hope
that nigga gonna do right.
Yeah, definitely. It's easier to do that. It's harder to jump out and be like.
And you know why most niggas don't want to get married? Because niggas already ain't paying the cost in their own life. So they definitely don't want to feel like
it's on my back.
It's on my back now when it should have already been on your back before she came around here. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to already been on your back before she came around now. Now you looking at me, I gotta pay the rent. What nigga, what the hell was you doing before you married her? You know what I'm saying?
Getting blazed.
Getting blazed. And I get it because you know you got some niggas like BOA. BOA say he ain't living with no more. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes feel like that. I definitely just seen a woman on Steve Harvey say she don't want to live with her man. She said we want to have separate houses. You know what I'm saying? Really, somebody feel like that, you probably ain't. It ain't meant for you to be in that type of situation. But I could get it for a dude, but to hear a lady say that, I'd be like, well then. No, she said, I don't like it. I don't know what, she was older. You know what I'm saying? She said, I don't want to be with that nigga. But some of them, it be the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I want to maintain what I have to in case if I want to dip, I can dip.
But older women feel like that it's established, of course.
Because that's what most younger women in this society looking for. If it ain't going how I want to have the ability to dip. Look at you. Oh, you trying to dip?
I do. You did.
Who, me? You around here? Or was that smoothie just that good that you had to do all that? Yeah, I'm talking about because you got happy.
Yeah.
What you put in there?
Yeah.
She was on that junk like a fat child. I'm talking about that nigga was happy. Shoot, we need some of that smoothie like that on the roof. I want to be that happy too. Yeah, but come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that type of stuff, man. Like, you already know, word-wise, just period, you can't have no community without no families in it. And when you have a group of people who don't want to be married, you know what I'm saying? That they're the third. That's just different. Like what that boy Anton be telling niggas get married young. Everybody else that's on any space, on any internet, don't tell nobody get married young. He the only nigga telling niggas get married young. Talking about men. Because I wouldn't tell a man to get married young if all possible, just because you ain't gonna necessarily have the mental and spiritual tools to execute how you want to before you even talk about financially. You know what I'm saying? That's why these young niggas get frustrated. They taking on too much. This nigga don't even understand how a woman operate. Now he pissed off. Now he done kicked in the chin. Now he got to go to the counter. You know what I'm talking about? He mad. He like, I hate you. She ain't even did nothing. She was just being a lady. You know what I'm saying? But that young mainly just, you know what that boy Judah say about 30, 35? He said I couldn't disagree because I knew when I hit 30, I say, shoot, I ain't ready. I can't be nobody's husband. Well, that's a different type of mindset. Only way a young man can be ready for marriage if he was raised to be a husband. And niggas not raised to be a husband. So shoot, you don't want to throw nobody out there in that. You know what I'm talking about? And of course, you know, that's why younger women have always liked older dudes because they are already established and not just financially. Because everybody in high school remember that. Why they like them older niggas? Because he got a car, nigga, and you on the bus. Look at least, yeah. He picked me up every time I jump out the burglar bar. But you had the key. 12. No, I've been verse 14, 1 Corinthians 7. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband, else your children unclean. But now are they Kadesh. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. Our brother and sister is not under bondage and such. Elohim have called us under shalom. For what know you, O wife, whether you shall save your husband, or know you, O man, whether you shall save your wife? And what is he telling you? If that person don't believe and they want to dip, he said, let them dip. Now, of course, none of you have these problems, prayerfully, but what Brother Craig mentioned, I know brothers who in that situation where they weren't in the word, the husband get in the word, the wife ain't on that junk cause conflict. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about somebody you were hunting. I'm talking about you already married to this person. It's instances where the woman that got in the word and the husband didn't. That junk caused conflict. Can you imagine if a man you on the word and now you don't want to celebrate Christmas and your wife bring Christmas presents in your house anyway? Because I know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm talking about? Man, where them receipts at, ho? I ain't got none. Well, don't worry about it. I ain't taking them back. I ain't giving them away. Trash can. They be like, so you'll waste your own money? Shoot. She wasted it. I ain't got no problem wasting it with her. But boy, I meant what I said, boy, and I show you better than I can tell you. And I'm talking about I'm throwing them away. And I ain't talking about throwing them away in the box. I'm going to take it out the box and deface it and put it in the trash. I don't care if she set the tree. Some women won't set the tree. They'll know the tree is a giveaway. So they'll slide the presents in the house.
Okay. Might not win with that, but
you know what I'm saying? Let me come in here talking about you done whipped up some Thanksgiving videos to take to your people house and watch all your food end up on the floor.
and it ain't even about the holiday. It's the respect.
Yeah, it's the respect. It definitely about the holiday.
Holidays.
Because I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. You're going to respect me and where I pay these bills at. You know what I'm talking about? And if you can't respect that, then I got a trick for you because I can show you the better. I tell you, boy, because I can be the nastiest nigga you ever encountered in your life. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about, yeah, tough. You can't control me with no cooch. I ain't gonna give you no sex then. Shoot, I don't care. You know what Juvenile said. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, you don't know?
That's it,
you know what I'm talking about? After I get mine, then I'm gonna go to sleep. And you're gonna be drove in. Yeah.
Hey, what?
Saran said his sister just got baptized and her husband ain't on it. It's ugly for him. Yeah, they keep on rolling. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you later. I ain't gonna remember. Come on back to Jeremiah 16. Straight up and down. You can't control me with that. I'm telling you, boy. I'll go in there and play the song for you too and let it play. Dee know the song. That's why she looking like that. She know the song. You know the song? I know. Because she got a whole Southern playlist on her phone. Michael, like, I ain't from the South. I don't know none of that stuff. Bet you don't. I bet you know that K-pop though. I know you do. You look like it. I just threw that out there because D like it. Y'all niggas gay.
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
It's Korean pop. Korean boy bands.
Beat Boy.
Look at you. You like to say, ah! You ready to throw your undergarments at the little boys, ain't you? I believe it. You got a little fur on that one. I believe it. Absolutely not. I have respect, damn it. I ain't never liked Koreans anyway. I don't like Korean barbecue. Oh, you do? Jeremiah 16 and 4. Oh man, I ain't even plugged this junk up. Come on.
Go ahead. Bless you.
Jeremiah 16 and 4. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried. There shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. They shall be consumed by the sword, by famine. Their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the earth. For thus saith Yahuwah, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament nor bemoan them, for I have taken away my shalom from this people. Saith Yahuwah, even loving kindnesses and mercies. My apologies, because I didn't go back to Matthew 19. We're in verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, have you not read that which he made at the beginning, male and female, made them male and female? And it said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. That's one element. With a woman, that should already be known. Once a woman get married, that's it for your daddy. Because, of course, you know the tradition that they do in America, giving you away. But that's what that for. That man has relinquished his responsibility. You are no longer his responsibility. It's not his responsibility to do anything for you at that point. That's it. That's over with. That's why he's transferring possession from the father to the son. That was or to the husband. That's the purpose of that particular custom. You know what I'm talking about? That's why, but I'm mentioning this part because it said that the man's supposed to leave his parents and cleave to his wife. So you got a lot of dudes in this society who still try to cleave to their mammy while they married. That's unacceptable. At that point, you should have married your mom. You know what I'm talking about? You be seeing dudes who come first, your wife and your mother. And I be looking at niggas. If you got to ask that question, you're not even a man. Do you know what I'm saying? How your mama come before your wife, nigga? Nigga, you having sex with your mama, nigga? I had to do to my mama took care of me my whole life, and now she got to let you go, son. She's supposed to have a nigga. That nigga say, if it come down to my mama, my wife, I'm picking my mama. You are not a man. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. But y'all know I ain't lying. It's a lot of dudes live like that. They get a problem, they run into their mama. You see niggas argue who should sit in the front, the wife or the mother. You know the elder should sit in the front. Shoot, nigga, I bet my wife damn car. She sit wherever the hell she want to sit. If she want to sit in the back, that's her business, but that's her car. And if your mama can't respect it, then your mama overstepping her bounds, and as a man, you supposed to check her. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of dudes be scared to check their mama, man. And shoot, mama, this is my house. Better learn your place, or you won't see this place. It's not that hard. Huh? Do y'all know people who mothers overstep their bounds? Do you niggas have seen them niggas check them, or do they let them slide? I ain't let nothing slide. You know what I'm saying? Not when it comes to nah, absolutely not. I pay for that nigga. Whether it was her mama, my mama, shoot, it could be the nigga mama around the corner. No, that doesn't work. That don't mean you got to be disrespectful, but you know what I'm saying? No, ma'am, we don't do that here. You're not finna come in here and talk about how she cook. You ain't finna talk about how she keep the house. That ain't none of your place. Not in her face. Not while I'm standing right there. If you want to say, baby, I think you need to hit them baseballs a little better. That's a conversation between you and her. Don't say it in front of me. You know what I'm talking about? Say some people mama like that. You know, like this here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying I'm using like this here, like, nah. You say you ain't never seen a man check his mama ever, Sade?
Oh, damn.
Well, baby, you young. You shouldn't have seen it too often. Boy, Sade, I seen your doppelganger the other day. She in prison for stabbing niggas. Your daddy look like he'll check his mom. He look like he'll just sit there and look like this here, right? This nigga got one more time.
No, it wasn't like that. He was doing something. He was like, you shouldn't do that. And he was like, I got this. Like,
absolutely. As he's supposed to. As he's supposed to.
I feel Sade would have seen her thing. That's why I said that.
Oh, no, it's a girl in Minnesota. They calling her prison baby. You look just like her. Matter of fact, shoot, y'all about the same age. You look just like. I'm talking about look just like them. They definitely would look. Oh my God, they definitely look like they would have came out the same womb. I meant to send you the photograph of it. It's probably still on the internet somewhere. Oh yeah, you got to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to separate from your mama and your daddy, man. And you got to let your mama know her place. Because some people mamas like to meddle. Now that ain't violating the fifth commandment of respecting your father and mother. Because your mother's supposed to respect the fact that that ain't her damn house. And if your mama overstepping her bounds, you got to put her back in her place. See, respecting your mama don't mean that you allow her to disrespect your household. That would come in that as a man, you would have to know how to check your mother respectfully. See, most people look at checking and think you're going to be disrespectful. You let that be known. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you're not talking to my wife like that. That's not going down in here. Because see, that's my wife. I'm not married to you. If you don't like it, you don't got to come over here. You know what I'm talking about? Man, Mom Deuce got to know her. That's called a boundary. Well, watch your mouth. Because I got to take a bullet for her. I ain't got to take a bullet for you. It's mandatory I take a bullet for her. You know what I'm saying? Your husband's supposed to take a bullet for you. If you ain't got one, that's your problem, ain't mine. But you ain't got to do that because y'all already know a lot of mamas be meddling and niggas be letting them too. He ain't meddling in nothing in here. I ain't letting nothing slide. I ain't letting nothing go by. Because most daddies don't do that to their son. You know what I'm saying? They might pull their son to the side and be like, son, let me give you some game. He going by the business, son. Whether you do it or not, that's up to you. Pops ain't really going to press you. You know what I'm saying? But Mom Dukes, you going to let her do that? You going to let her do this? You need to do this here, baby. Yeah, how'd that work out for the nigga you had? It didn't. Leave me alone.
Hey, leave alone.
I don't know what it was. Shit. Nigga ain't never tell me. Yeah, I don't know. I ain't never heard. Yeah, I ain't with all that. Shoot, you could. We're talking about, oh yeah, I just not gonna stop back. Shoot, you ain't heard me, nigga. You ain't come over here for me. You came over here to run your mouth and to possibly see your grandchildren. That's what you came over here for. You came over here to have something to say with your cousins and my aunties there when you leave here. That's what you came over here for. You ain't come over here for us, nigga. You know how I know you ain't come over here for us? Because you're running your mouth too much. You got too much to say. You're pointing out too much crap. You ain't come in and show no love and just sit down and relax. You know what I'm talking about? That's how I know you ain't come over here. You know if your people came over here for you because they ain't got nothing to say. They happy to see you. They relaxing. They ain't looking at the house. Look at that bathroom. Taking notes so she can go back. Girl, I just left around there. That boy house, that girl don't cook for him. She don't clean her house. Them churn Pampers pissy. Y'all know ain't lying. Y'all know I ain't lying though. Some of y'all been sitting around and hearing them conversations. Why they talking about Uncle Bobby like that? All right, play with it. Because see, sometimes your mama know you done married a scallywag. And she just like this here. I thought I raised you better than that. That's why she come around there. Now you do got that flip side. Your mama know you married somebody trash and she upset with you. And she hoping you figure out she trash so you can leave her. But you don't never leave her because you like her. She make your toes tingle and she cook your food you like. Verse 6. Matthew 19. No, I ain't lying, is it?
No, I'd say it's a little more in most cases.
Just a little more.
A
little less. That nigga say, shoot. That nigga say, when I want to go right, she made me go left. Say, wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. Wherefore Elohim joined together, let no man put asunder. They said unto him, why did Moses then command to give them a writing of a divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, because of the hardness of your hearts suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, commit adultery. And whoso marry her, which is put away, do commit adultery. So unless she was not a virgin when you got her, Can't get rid of it. Under the way of Yahuwah. And of course, in these days and times, you can't turn around and say, oh, she wasn't no virgin. Nigga, you knew she wasn't a virgin when you met her. You know what I'm talking about? The hell out of here, nigga. Ain't nobody pay no dowry. And then, oh, I found her not to be a virgin. You already knew she wasn't no virgin. And that's, again, the part I was telling you, like, ancient times, I tell you, with it, most women in these days and times, if the society just at the snap of a finger reverted back to old culture, nobody would have a bride price. Most women wouldn't even have a bride price because you've already spent it. That's why I mean with some stuff where they'll tell you like those are virgin privileges. You know what I'm saying? Those are privileges that were really in specific cultures reserved only for virgins. See, that's tough because we don't want to hear that. You know why we don't want to hear that? Because then it makes us have to face the bad decisions that we've made. And then you don't want to face them. You just have to look at it. You're just looking at the juxtaposition of one culture to another. You understand what I'm saying? You're looking at the culture of, quote unquote, the West to the culture of Yahuwah. There would have been a different way that niggas would have lived. We don't have that culture here, right? You could, I just heard a woman say it's easier to get a whore to be a housewife than a man to stop cheating. You can never make a whore a housewife because you know what women think a housewife is? She stay at home and take care of the house. That is not what a housewife is. The reason why men say you can't make a whore into a housewife because you can't make a whore into a wife. And a wife is a position and a mindset, not just I'm at the house cooking and cleaning. Yes, whores can stay home and cook and clean, but that doesn't mean she has the mind of a wife. Because guess what? Yahuwah culture before you were a whore, he had to make you be born again because he couldn't make a whore into a housewife. Is that not what the book said? He showed you that because you were whoring, right? Could he make you a housewife? You didn't have the mind of a wife because wives have a mind to serve and to bring delight to their husband and to never seek their own will above their husbands. And a whore, she's been with too many men. There's no way in the world she's going to put a man before her own desires. She's been doing it for too long the opposite way. That's why you got to be born again. If you've been living for yourself all this time, seeking your own will and your own pleasure, you're not going to turn around and come in Yahuwah's house and just give that up. You're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And he's not going to put someone in a position that doesn't have the mentality for the position. That's why you can't make a whore into a housewife. You know what I'm saying? It's the housewife ain't got nothing to do with staying home. Anybody can stay home, but that don't mean you're a housewife. Because you know what a housewife does? Y'all know what Proverbs 14:1 say. If you don't know what it say, look it up and you find out and you tell me what it say. Because I know what it say. That's what a housewife is right there. Proverbs 14:1. Somebody in the chat, you find it, you share it. I ain't gonna read it. I want you to find it. Get from under that blanket, boy. Go over there playing. I know what you're doing. You're over there under that cover, you're farting and you're smelling it.
What?
That's what you over there doing. That's what you over there doing, you doing?
Every wise woman built a house.
Anybody in the chat? Find me Proverbs 14:1, put it in the chat. Well, you sitting over there like you was a real dainty lady.
She was just doing something. That's why I was trying to cover it up.
A wise woman builds her house. That's a housewife. So if she's building her house, whose house is she building? The house of her husband. That is a housewife. Housewife ain't making a nigga no food. You know what I'm talking about? And cleaning this house. That don't make you no housewife. Because anybody can do that. Nigga, maids and chefs do that. A housewife builds her house. And her house is her husband. That means her whole life is dedicated to the building of her husband's enterprises. And a whore can't do that. You know what I'm saying? She can't do that because whores are selfish. You know what I'm talking about? Can't do it. Can't do it. It's impossible. That's why he told you love seek not her own, and you must be born again. And what type of woman did he say he espoused Mashiach to? Chaste virgin. You know what I'm talking about? Play with it. Only a virgin get those type of privileges. You know what I'm talking about? You don't get them type of privileges and you been around here slopping and bopping. You're going to have to go ahead and take whatever station that man choose to give you. But see, we don't want to hear that because that's tough. You understand? Now you want to look at, why, that ain't right. Shoot, it wasn't right that you spent your money wrong. You know what I'm saying? You spent all your money, now you're broke. But guess what? That nigga reckless with his money. Is it right that he get a Chase version? Should he get that? If this nigga's an idiot and an imbecile, can't lead, bad with his money, incompetent, should he get a young Chase version? Absolutely not. That ain't fair to her. It go both ways now. That ain't fair to her. No, that Chase version should get a good man of good stature and value. You know what I'm talking about? Get this her no bum nigga.
You gotta wait.
No, that ain't right. That ain't no way to live. Do that little girl. But guess what? There's niggas who feel that way. He a man, you should get one. Hell no, nigga. He should get what he want. Hell no. You buster broke punk, you nigga. No, nigga, you don't get nothing. You know what I'm talking about? What that woman said on that song? That nigga don't deserve no coochie. You're broke. Go in the room and play with yourself. That's what you do. You know what I'm talking about? Get you some lotion. How you around here broke talking about this woman ought to open her womb up to you? Nigga, you can't even pay for the prophylactic. You know what I'm talking about? He can't even buy the condom. You couldn't even get you couldn't get her nothing off the value meal at McDonald's just so she could have the energy to perform the task. I done told you before, dang nigga, you can't pay the rent. That nigga couldn't even pay for the room. That nigga couldn't even put gas in the car to pick her up. That nigga showed up in the Uber with a swisher, hoping she had the weed. That nigga don't deserve that. And they living like that out here. And guess what? As a woman, you ain't supposed to let a nigga like that in your womb.
They beating them with the sight.
You know what I'm saying? I get it if you're young because you're stupid and you're lustful. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't got good sense. You're rebellious. When you get to a certain age and you letting broke peen go up in you, you as stupid as the penis you let slide up in you. Because that nigga stupid for being grown and broke, and you stupid for being moist enough for let him get up in there. Stupid is and stupid does. And clearly y'all go together.
You in the bathroom, use the bathroom.
Y'all already know that one now. Teach your daughter have no sex with no broke bastard. And niggas get mad. See, this is all about the money. The man only worth what he can provide. Well, dang, nigga. She the weaker vessel. What you want her to do? You just wanted to be like, shoot, he ain't got nothing. I give it to him anyway. Hell no, nigga. Joe broke behind from around here. That's why niggas don't. I just heard Kevin Samuel say this last night. The video clicked on. Muffin, right after Muffin said, y'all still listen to him? Like, not really. It's not as entertaining anymore. It's quite boring.
That boy made one season.
But they had one good season. Breakout season. Jeremy Lin. That boy had a good all-star season. You know what I'm saying? All that means you're going to have to change the format. You know what I'm saying? Some people going to roll with him because they were New Jack swinging on his nuts. You know what I'm saying? No, the junk was entertaining, but shoot, nigga, it's only so many times you can have the same conversation with different women, and I don't want to hear this no more. It's not funny. It was funny. It's not funny anymore. I don't like it. You know what I'm talking about? But that nigga said the aspect of dating been only going on since like the 1940s. I could go for that. Like basically women picking their man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he talking about. At least in America. I could go for that.
That's what I was thinking about in Corinthians when it was saying that, like, how you gonna leave when this man told you, like,
yeah, this your husband. That's why the woman couldn't leave. Your daddy said this who you were marrying. You gonna stay there out of respect for your father.
Yeah. This is chosen for you. How you gonna walk away from it?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the aspect, and I'm only saying that because men like it. Broke niggas, punk niggas, they like it that the woman can pick her own man because they ain't got to go through her daddy. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to go through the granddaddy, the uncles, the older brothers. They ain't got to go through them. You know what I'm saying? So since they don't have to go through any of the men in her life, they know that they can get off with the cornball, broke clown junk they doing. Nigga say, how you gonna be like this here, man, talking about you want this woman to submit to you and you still stay at your mama house and she got her own spot and you ain't got no car. And you feel like she's supposed to obey you.
But that go into the simp aspect too, though. That go into the simp aspect of you think if a whole shoes on you and she mad, you cool with that. Because you don't got the provisions.
Now you mad. Why I got it? I done told brothers so many times. Why it gotta be about money though? That's what broke niggas say. You know what a nigga broke when he be like, why it always gotta be about the money? Same way you can know when a nigga a sinner. Why it always gotta be about righteousness? Why it gotta be about the faith? What about the law, brother? That's when you deal with somebody you know they don't believe. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know, guess what? What does the book say when it comes to money? What did it say? It's about four things when it comes to wealth, off the top of my head, that I can think of, maybe five in the text that I can think of. What does come to y'all mind that the text referred to? I can think of Proverbs 23. He say, but labor not to be rich, cease from your own wisdom. Grow like eagle's wings and fly away. And then, of course, Psalm 62, he say, if your riches increase, don't set your heart on it. So then that's letting you know, don't even be concerned with that. But then I know Psalm 37 say, shoot, you know what I'm talking about? Be focused on me. I give you what you want. Man say, hey, man, meditate on my law. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I give you good success. Then the man turn around and say, hey, man, if you get wealth by wrong, nigga, that's a problem. Get it by righteousness, nigga, ball out. That's what he said. And he say money answer all things. You know what I'm talking about? So the issue ain't the bread. The issue is the mindset you got with the bread because you love the bread. And because you love the bread, yeah, you ready to do some evil. Now you ready to kill a nigga, pop some coochie. This, that, then the third, because you love money. See, that's the problem. Ain't nothing wrong with getting no money. The only broke nigga got a problem with it. Oh, he got money. He need to break bread with the poor. No, nigga, stop being a bum. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. A lot of these niggas unsuccessful. They lazy and they sorry. And some of these niggas need to starve to death. You know what I'm talking about? Some niggas need to starve to death. For no other purpose. Huh? Why you begging? We listen. She ain't realized that. Beta came from Jesse. She cute. She always hear Aubrey Pre say that junk. So you know we had to listen to the classic interview with her and Umar Johnson. That nigga say you being politically effeminate. And he say you sound like a beta male. That nigga Jesse Lee say or something, a beta male. That nigga say stop begging. Say men don't beg, but men don't though.
Yeah, what you talking about?
Men don't. Men don't.
So you see a nigga PayPal and Cash App and
Niggas be mad on the low. You begging. Well, I wouldn't dare. I ain't never nail time on nowhere gonna put up this my PayPal and Cash App support the minute. Hell no. You know what I'm talking about? I look like, man, I'm out here begging. Yeah, he gonna provide for everybody in his house. See, that's the thing, like with Abraham. Abraham ain't providing for everybody he come across, but if you under his roof, you're gonna be taken care of. That's what you're supposed to do, because that's what Yahuwah do. If you're not under my roof, it's not my responsibility to take care of you. Because you're not my servant, you're not under my roof. You got 20 broke niggas sitting over there waiting for another nigga to come give him something. Nigga die. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga ought to die because you ain't no man. You know what I'm talking about? You sit here waiting for another man to come do for you because you a sorry punk bastard who don't want to get up and do nothing. I don't support niggas like that. I ain't supporting niggas like that before the word. I'm not on that, man. My big homie told me that a long time ago. What you hanging around them niggas for? Them niggas ain't getting no money. That nigga say you're going to be broke just like them niggas. I'm like, man, them niggas just had to hit the blunt. That nigga say I wouldn't give a damn what they had to hit. What you round there with them niggas for? You know what I'm saying? Them niggas broke. They ain't doing nothing. I say, well, shoot, that nigga cussed me out. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. That nigga, now I'm just like, I know the nigga, man. Nigga like this, boy, let me hit the weed, but I understood he said they broke bastard. They gonna have you around here, sitting around here smoking weed, doing nothing. But I'm like, that wasn't gonna happen, nigga. I'm gonna leave them niggas right there, nigga. I'm gonna catch my serves, nigga. Yeah, you mean? You know what I'm talking about? But I feel him though. Shoot, no, I ain't gonna leave him with it. My blood coming with it. You know what I'm talking about? That's coming with it. Oh no, that coming with me. I don't like you like that. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up down. My junk come with me.
Somebody generous, man.
No doubt, because this the thing, man. You got a lot of niggas who are envious at people who are successful because they did the things necessary in order to be successful. You know what I'm talking about? And they don't want to do them. And you seen that with Mashiach. What did Mashiach say? That man said, if I wouldn't have came and did the works that no other man did, they would have not had sin. Now that they done came, they ain't had no cloak for their sin. And now they've hated me without a cause. Because he was willing to do the things that them niggas weren't. You know what I'm talking about? And unsuccessful niggas are always going to talk about what successful men are doing. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got time to be worrying about what this nigga doing because I'm doing what I'm doing. I ain't gonna be like, that nigga got 10 million. He need to break bread with the hood. You broke bastard. You might as well go around there and give him some fellatio because that's what you're talking like. You're talking like you like the man in an improper manner in an abominable state. How you counting another man's pockets? Nigga, that's some hoe stuff. Men don't count another man's pockets. I don't know who raised these niggas, man. I wasn't taught that, man. You don't count another nigga pocket. I ain't worried about what you do with your money. That's your money. You don't owe me nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga don't owe me nothing. My homeboy don't owe me nothing. My brother, nobody don't owe me nothing. That man say you don't owe no man but one thing. What that is, Stanley? You don't know what it is. You don't know what the word say you don't owe man but one thing. You know what it is, Calvin? No. I'm appalled. You know what it is, sir? Well, golly. Well, take the brotherly off. He said, oh, no man but love. That's it. That's the only thing you owe a man. Romans 12, because y'all ain't know where it was at. Lend me some sugar. Oh, no. It might be Romans 13. That's right. Nisha got it.
That's 13 and 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up by Romans 13 and 7. Well, 8, yeah, 8 better, because 7 ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. Romans 13 and 8. Owe no man anything but to love one another. He that loved one another, and he was right, have fulfilled the law. Remember, that's what I was talking about last night. I say, man, ain't but 2 rules, man. Lead with love and do your best. You know what I'm saying? Less rules you got, the better you can execute. Yahuwah ain't got but 2 rules, man. Love him, love each other. It's pretty simple. You know what I'm talking about? You'll execute at a high level. He say, for this shall you not commit adultery, you shall not kill, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not covet. If there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love work no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. As simple as that. That's the only thing anybody owe me. You don't owe me nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what my mama them told us. Don't nobody owe you nothing. People walk around in this world, boy, thinking like people owe them something. You got some niggas in Brooklyn right now feel like Jay-Z owe them something. That nigga said that I'm only mentioning because he said that in the song. That nigga said these niggas acting like they gave me Rockefeller startup money. You ain't give me no money to start this. You got niggas right now, how the internet making a big deal talking about Ice Cube. Ice Cube don't owe them men nothing. Then it also show you that niggas don't know how Hollywood work, that there's a pay scale. You just ain't in no movie and they give you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Nigga, nobody knew who Faison Love was when Friday came out. And they said this nigga made $2,500 for a day's worth of work. How many niggas you know make $2,500 in a day? They say John Witherspoon got paid 5 bands. Well, the movie budget was only $2.3 million. What you thought them niggas was gonna make? Then niggas say John Witherspoon was already established. He might have been the only one, and besides the lady who played on Amen, her name escapes me. That was his point, and they agreed to it. Michael Blackson said he got paid $1,200 for next Friday. He said that propelled him to be now. Faison Love wasn't upset. It's the outside niggas who are upset. Yeah. But this is the thing that people don't understand. That nigga Nip said in the song, it ain't no lie. If you make the kill, nigga, you can feed a nigga what you want. Because if I put the bread up, I took the risk, I pay the bills. I do all this here. Nigga, I get the largest share. That's common sense. You ain't took no risk. If you ain't took no risk, you can't expect a big piece of the pie. You ain't put nothing up. Nigga feel like, but I did the work. But I did the work and put the money up. If we went and did something right, and we could make 100 bands, but we had to put 25,000 in to make the 100 bands, and I put up 20,000, and you put up 5. Do you think you should get an equal cut with your 5 that I should get out that 20? But you got niggas who put up that 5 and think he should get the same amount as the nigga who put up the 20. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's just like this here, right? If you were driving somebody else's truck, and they say, boy, this is a $50,000 load. You run this truck, I'm going to give you $15,000. Would you be upset with that? You have some niggas feel like, man, that nigga getting over on me, bro. But it's his truck. He paid for the fuel. He's paying for the insurance and all of that. He really looking out saying, I'm going to give you 15. He just showing love. Shoot, depends on what you work out, who you dealing with. Some niggas might not want you to pay for no fuel. Nigga might give you a fuel card and use that for tax write-offs. If he got a sense. If he got some sense, right or wrong.
Most times driving.
No, not if you ride in corporate.
Them boys drove my box truck. I pay for that.
Yeah, if you own the truck, you paying for that fuel.
The driver be done finessing.
Just trying to tell you. So told you he spent a band on the fuel, 500 went in his pocket.
Calling you back.
I need 500 more. You done got it. Matthew 19 and 10. Now, people be upset with Mr. Charlie too, but you know what I'm talking about? It's just sometimes people don't be realizing what goes in to generating revenue. All they see is the revenue generated, and they feel like they deserve a larger share, and they didn't take any of the risk. You didn't do any of the creation. You didn't do any of that. I made something for you to come in, and you're benefiting off something that I created. What does that sound like to you? Sounds like the kingdom of Yahuwah. How you gonna come in here and tell him what portion that he should get or who he should give it to when he the one created? That'd be like us coming in there saying, why we don't get to sit where the apostles sit. You know what I'm saying? You got some people who might think that way. That's tough though. Because why the apostles, they names on there. They got a pillar, right or wrong. You're gonna have some people feel like that's a problem. I labored in the vineyard.
Ain't nobody gonna feel that.
Shoot, they got to feel like that because they never wasn't gonna get in. But you got some niggas who might feel like that as they laboring right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Guess what? Remember the parable he showed you? Why he get a penny? And what he told him? Didn't you agree to a penny? He said, "Didn't I pay you what I want to pay? Get the hell out of my face. Come on around here for it. Let me finish this Matthew 19. I get it to you." He said, his disciple said unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, is it not good to marry? He said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, say to whom it is given. Some are eunuchs which were born so from their mother's womb. Some are eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. And there be eunuchs which made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of Shamahim's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. What with Jeremiah? Jeremiah was made a eunuch by Yahuwah himself. He said, don't you marry them people. Guess what? Daniel and them 3 young men with him was too. And they were made that of men. They ain't cut their schlong off, but they pretty much isolated them. No women for you. Because they had a bigger job to do. What it is? Matthew 20 I want, man. There's Matthew 20, right there, verse 1. You will feel the same way. I pay you what I want to pay you. Because guess what? You agreed to it. Don't cry about what you got. For the kingdom of Shamahim was like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. Who's the first man that Yahuwah hired to labor in his vineyard? I'll allow it. Adam is the first one, because and how would you explain that he was the first one to labor in his vineyard? I almost missed and said it.
You told him to till it.
Not even just with that. What is laboring in Yahuwah's vineyard?
Keeping the word.
Laboring in the vineyard is actually administering the word. Adam is the first laborer in the vineyard because he the first minister of the word, because he taught the word to Eve. That's how we would look at that. He's the first laborer in his vineyard because he the first man to actually teach the word of Yahuwah to another person. You know what I'm saying? That's the first person that you can read. Because how do we know that? It doesn't directly say that he taught it to her, but she rehearsed that information back, and she was not present when that information was given. Matter of fact, she hadn't even been created when that information was given. You know what I'm saying? So this is the evidence of Adam being the first in that vineyard. I'm just mentioning that because he said he went out into his vineyard early went out early in the morning to hire laborers. So we're looking at those early laborers. That's Adam. That's Noah. That's Shem. You know what I'm saying? That's Abraham. That's Isaac. That's Jacob. You know what I'm saying? All them. Enoch. These are early laborers in his vineyard. And this goes back to what I mentioned last night about what we read last night in Lamentations, when he said he put his mouth in the where? In the dust, so that there might be hope. That will go back to that for those men who labored earlier in that vineyard. And when he agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And when he went about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, he said unto them, go you also into the vineyard. Whatsoever is right, I will give you. And they went their way. And again, he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour and did likewise. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle and said unto them, why do you stand here all the day idle? They said unto them, because no man have hired us. He said, go unto them, go you also into the vineyard. Whatsoever is right, shall you receive. So when the even was come, the Lord of the vineyard said unto his steward, call the laborers, give them hire, beginning from the last unto the first. So look how that works. Pause and come to Hebrews 11. Also, this relates back to what we read last night, that his compassions are new every morning. They fail not. You can pick it up in Hebrews 11 and 35. What you doing, Grandma? I'm going to call you Geraldine. Women received their dead raised to life again. Others were tortured, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. Others had a trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonments. They were stoned, they were sown asunder, were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, and tormented, and of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and in the caves of the earth, and these all, having attained a good report through faith, received not the promise. Elohim have providing some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. That's why he started with the last to the first, because the last got the higher before the first did. How would you explain it? How did the last get their higher before the first? Y'all don't know how the last got the higher before the first? No. He said he paying out to the laborers, from the last laborers until the first laborers. The last laborers who were hired got paid first.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out the exact question.
No, this ain't got nothing to do with the Lord. I'm talking about, what does this mean? How do you relate it?
They got the rule.
He said, called the laborers and gave them hire, beginning from the last unto the first. He just said it though. Them boys got that ruach on Pentecost before Adam did. They got all them boys got paid. You know what I'm saying? They came in later in the game, didn't it? Remember, matter of fact, come over here to John chapter 4. Let's show you what I'm talking about. You can hold Matthew 20.
When you're saying anything like to the end, like before you come back, because you won't have people preaching. When you come back here.
John 4 and 27. He came unto his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man say, what seek you? Why talk you with her? The woman then left her water pot, went her way into the city, and saith unto the men, come, see a man which told me all things that I ever did. Is this not the Mashiach? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meanwhile, his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. He said unto them, I have meat to eat that you know not of. Therefore said the disciples one to another, have any man brought him something to eat? Yahushua said unto them, thy meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. That take you back to Job chapter 23 and verse 12, if you don't know. I esteemed his word more than my necessary food. That means that man will just finish his will was more important than putting food in his mouth. Also taking you back to Deuteronomy chapter 8. It's, you know what I'm talking about? Man don't live by bread alone, but every word that proceed out the mouth of Yahuwah, do man live. Listen what he says, say not ye that there are yet 4 months, and then come harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for there are white already to harvest. He that reap receive wages, and gather fruit unto life eternal. And both he that sow and he that reap may rejoice together. Hearing is the saying true, one sow, another reap. I sent you to reap wherein you bestowed no labor. Other men labored. You entered into others' labors. You know what I'm saying? All you doing is you coming in later after work that had already been started. Those men who he spoke to first, early, Adam and all anybody else doing is you coming into their labor. But you getting paid before they get paid. And you getting paid the same thing that they getting paid. You ain't getting no greater payment. Now you might get a different position of hierarchy. That's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about last night, there's a hierarchy. Adam might have a position in the hierarchy that's higher than yours. But guess what? You getting paid before David.
But I thought they got paid when we went to the grave.
No, they got justified by the Spirit, but they didn't get paid.
Yeah.
No, they didn't get paid.
Yeah.
On that first resurrection.
That's when they get paid. You know what I'm talking
No,
about?
that makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't get paid.
They just know. So when
They get a chance.
They get that call.
Yeah, they get to get up. But the last get paid first. See, ain't no telling when they might have been slain. Those are people who get slain during the time of the beast, and they still get paid first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anybody who, look, at the end of the day, if you came in after Mashiach, you're getting paid before the people who was before him.
Yeah, I mean, the niggas who been laboring in the early morning.
Early morning, because you got access to something they ain't get access to in the flesh. You got paid before he did. He greatly beloved, and you getting paid before Daniel. You getting paid before Abraham.
It's a real back end.
You getting paid before Jacob, because he said they labored and didn't see the promise, but went in the grave, trusted in Yahuwah, and you getting paid before them. Back to Matthew 20. What?
These niggas ain't great.
Yeah, these niggas is ungrateful. That nigga should have paid me 3 talents. Pay him one, come give me 1 talent. You know what I'm saying? I've been out here 15 hours, bro. That nigga only been out here 2. How you get a talent? Not get a talent. I've been out here 15. Bro, you gonna have some niggas who feel that way, bro. Like, this man gonna be in the word for 6 months and get eternal life. You talking about you been in it 25. So what?
Oh, I said niggas are great.
Yeah. Bro, I've been being righteous all these years, bro. But How these niggas be walking around here feeling? He got to see it all that time, bro. Then all of a sudden he get saved. That's how these niggas feeling.
I'm from Jackson, I'm from Ville. You out here?
He son me, boy. Remember, my name Jackson. Jacksonville.
I deserve this.
I deserve this. That's how you were talking. Bro, you know how many people, man, I go to talk, how long you been in the truth, brother? I'd be like, nigga, what that matter? You know what I'm saying? So if I told, I've been in it 30 years, that's going to make it better. Nigga, you still a jackass and you stupid. You know what I'm saying? Nigga come back to you, I've been in this thing 30 years. I wouldn't tell nobody that.
That's what your mama would do.
What? But for me, though, if you stupid, I'm gonna read it in just a second, Brother Craig. If you stupid, I wouldn't tell nobody I've been doing something badly for over 2 decades. I wouldn't tell nobody that.
That's why I said only a woman would have quit. I don't be doing something.
To how good you are at it. Well, I've been out here. What? I've been bopping for 20 years, girl. You don't know nothing about it. You don't know nothing about it. Don't try to tell me. You know how many streets I done walked up and down? But men mainly tell you to do that. I'm gonna be honest with you, all jokes aside. Men will pull on how long they do something, just like what the text say. Just because your age doesn't mean that you're wise. So they feel like, especially when you're dealing with men who don't necessarily been dealing with a lot of men, you know what I'm saying, on a regular basis. Young nigga, it's really a shaming tactic to make somebody he feel as a threat sit down. Because I done talked to dudes and they been like, how long you been in the truth? I'd be like 6 years. See, brother, I've been doing this for 15. And you know what I'm saying? Being the nigga that I am, I'd be like, shoot, nigga, so what? You still don't know what the hell you talking about. And I'm nicer than you. So what you want to do? Since you want to take it there and play them type of games, I'm playing with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't trying to go there with you. I was trying to be a professional. But now I got to be a nigga. They don't like it when I got to be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't did that in a long time now. It ain't like I did it recently. But some of these people know we used to have to deal with them niggas all the time. And I used to have to do them like that. Now, I ain't have to do one nigga like that when he called himself telling his big homie, I'm going to tell him hard on you. You know what I'm saying? What type of nigga that is. Niggas call himself telling on me to a nigga I don't know. And you know what the sad part was, Michael? You know what the sad part was? When I got finished in explaining what I had to explain, this man sound like he got a higher understanding than you, Aki. Sound like he got a higher understanding. Basically tell him sound like you need to go back to the drawing board. Yeah.
Stick to your pay grade, brother.
Stick to your pay grade. Next thing you know, he said he was the next to blow. Stage blowing. Not on no trees either. 20:09. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the goodman of the house, saying, these men have worked but 1 hour, and you have made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and the heat of the day. Guess what? I ain't gonna tell you no story. Ezekiel bearing a way heavier burden than any man of this generation bear. The apostles bearing a way bigger burden than any burden that anybody of this generation is bearing. You think anybody bearing the bigger burden of what Jeremiah carried in the heat of the day? Oh, you ain't carrying the burden like Noah carried. And you know the sad part is, these brews in this generation think they really carrying the burden. Sit your punk. I'm talking about, boy, these niggas mango seeds in between their legs. Don't these niggas thinking they carrying a real heavy burden out here, man. Boy, you ain't going through nothing with them, boy. Boy, he told Isaiah to walk up and down the street butt booty naked, my nigga. Why these people will worship idol gods in the house of Yahuwah? Stop it. You understand me? Boy, he told Ezekiel to do all manner of things that most of these niggas would never do. Boy, you just read, he told Jeremiah, don't get married and go tell these people they all gonna be dead in the street like doo-doo. And they took the man and threw him in a jail, and he had to watch Jerusalem get burnt down to the ground, and everybody around him taken off into captivity and killed. And he was telling them niggas what not to do so that wouldn't happen to him. Come on, man. What burden you niggas carry? You ain't carrying the burden that David carried. David had to carry the burden of the king wanting to kill him, and he hadn't even done nothing. Come on, man. It ain't right, is it, Ruth? It ain't right, Ruth. That's right. Ruth know it ain't right. You got to think about that. What is the burden that men who call themselves teaching the word and quote unquote 2022 that they actually carry? What is the major burden that they carry? That they got to go to work Monday morning? You tell me a major burden that these so-called prophets of the Lord is carrying. That's what they like to call themselves on the internet. Niggas say they are a prophet of the Lord with no vision. How? You ain't a prophet because you read off a page, boy. That means you know how to read. That's right, Ruth know.
Yeah, I would say right now.
That's a different story. But I'm talking about right now, this very day.
I don't know. That's you a nigga who getting a vision of a nigga who
You always
apostle
cheesing.
that he done raised
You
up
always
somewhere
cheesing.
like China. Or like you have to do that jump covert. That's the only thing I can think of. But nigga in America,
Yeah, I can't. I'm just talking about foreign America. Other than the burdens that you carrying to your brother, but you ain't carrying no burdens in the heat of the day, boy. That's the only burden you should be carrying. Now those burdens can be heavy depending on what the other man carries. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to minimize nothing that ain't nobody going through. Just because somebody else might think it ain't a big deal, it might be a big deal to him. Now, of course, we got to temper it because some of these whole niggas be out here acting like life's so hard. If you don't get your punk behind up, nigga, and be a man and stop crying like a whole nigga. Put your boxers on, take the panties off. But some of these boys out here wearing panties. Shoot, some of them wearing Pampers. They ain't even wearing the pants. Them boys wearing pull-ups. Talking about I'm a big kid now. You know what I'm talking about? All that crying these niggas be doing, man. I ain't never seen so many grown men cry before in my life. It's disgusting. Nigga just be crying just to cry. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta show your emotions, Nah, nigga, get the hell out of here, nigga. You get grown, rush, nigga, you cry when the wind blow. You crying. Every time a nigga turn around, you crying. You crying for. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have something going on to be crying, nigga. Let somebody die. Have some stress. You can't cry because you broke and you broke because you won't get up and do nothing. You don't need to be crying, nigga. You should be crying because somebody punched you in your head, nigga. He know I ain't lying. Every mother that's done seen and been around a nigga who sit around crying because he broke, and he broke because he always playing mad in that do dirty house. Am I lying? All us done been around a nigga who was crying. I'm talking about literal shedding tears that he was broke, and he was broke because he was sitting around doing nothing. Waiting for somebody to come save him. Talking about what somebody ain't doing for him. Nigga, what you ain't doing for yourself? Nobody coming to save you, nigga. What he say? Ain't nobody coming to save you, Otis. Verse 13. But he answered, one of them and said, friend, I do you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a penny? Take what is yours and go your way, and I will give unto the last even as unto you. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own? Is your eye evil because I'm good? Because I kept my word, I was righteous. He telling you no, you evil nigga. If I told you I was gonna pay you $500 and you felt like you should have got a stack, I ain't evil because you felt like you should have got a stack. Because that's what I told you I was gonna pay you. That's what you said you was gonna take. You the evil nigga. You the buster nigga. You the dog nigga. Is that what the man not just said? Let me read it again. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own? Is your eye evil because I am good? How are we going to look at this man and say he evil because he gave you what he told you he was going to give you? But you felt like you ought to got some more. Ungrateful bastard. That's what you is. You a murmurer and a complainer and a blasphemer, injurious if you would. And he gonna come see you for your ungodly speeches and your ungodly deeds, which the ungodly have committed. So the last shall be first and the first shall be last. For many be called, few chosen. Uh-oh. Matthew 19 and 13 for brother Greg over here. Oh, he said 1930. I appreciate that. Oh, he was already. Oh, I think I read the wrong spot. Oh, it's in the same thing. That's what it is. What is that? Come on back over here to Jeremiah 16. That's what threw me off. They both said the same thing.
Yeah.
And all this springing from Psalms 87 and 4. We'll do a little in Lamentations 3 before we get out of here. Why you eating the phone, Ruth? Ruth, why you eating the phone, Ruth? Is anybody talking to you? Then what you talking for? But ain't nobody talking to you though. 16 and what? 6? 16 and 5. Thus saith Yahuwah, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go lament nor bemoan them. I've taken away my shalom from this people, saith Yahuwah, even loving kindness and mercies. Just know that when his loving kindness go away, death is soon to follow. We seen that when Yahushua was on the stake. At that particular moment, his loving kindness and mercies departed. That's why he was able to die. Because if Yahuwah's loving kindness and mercies are with you, death can't happen. That's why Job didn't die. Which is in reality why Yahushua resurrected from the dead, because they really didn't depart. They just departed in the moment.
Very good.
Temporary.
Both the great and the small shall die in this land and shall not be buried. Neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. If you didn't know, Michael, people used to cut all their hair off for the dead. Yeah, if your mama died, you just cut all your hair off and look like Michelle Indegocello. Oh, you don't know who that is, do you? I wouldn't disrespect her like that. I don't like that whore. She embarrasses her family consistently. But the lady I mentioned was a musician. She was bald-headed. But that's what they used to do. If they didn't cut all their hair off, they would cut themselves. That was the ancient custom. Now people cut themselves by getting a tattoo of a dead nigga on their body. Or a nigga name. That's what people do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did that for Shane. For Shane, they used to cover themselves. Sackcloth.
Yeah.
You used to do it more too.
Well, cut,
Little sackcloth in action.
Verse 7. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or their mother. Cup of consolation. Now you know what consolation is. That's Tadkun. And you know that's compassion or comfort. With us, drinking from the cup of the Lamb, that's your cup of consolation. When he made your Passover and you could drink from that cup, that's a cup of consolation for you. That's supposed to be a cup of comfort. You shall not also go into the house of fasting to sit with them, to eat. And look at what he tell them. Can't get married. Don't go in the house of mourning. Don't go in the house of fasting. You know, it's a verse in Ecclesiastes tell you that. Oh, you don't know what it is, do you? Ecclesiastes 7, if you would.
Nope.
That boy over there with all that capital. 7 and 1. Ecclesiastes 7 and 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning, then to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. That's why Yahushua was so sad before he sat down and ate with them. They didn't lay it to heart though, because they went to the house of feasting before the house of mourning. But notice he told them they couldn't go to neither. Don't go eating, don't go be sad. See, you had different houses for different things, Michael. If you didn't know that. You had a house of prayer, which is the temple of Yahuwah. You had a house of mourning. You had a house where they fasted in. You had houses for women when they were on their cycle. You had houses for the dead where you would have dead bodies at. But truth be told, in our culture, they bury people like Muslims do. I don't know if y'all familiar with how Muslims do their burials. Muslims bury a Muslim burial has to be done as quickly as possible. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why it's fresh in my mind, because the chick from Family Matters who died, and she's been dead a long time. The chick who played Myra, because she died from some type of stomach cancer, I believe. And she asked for an Islamic funeral. So, like, if you a Muslim and you died, them people gonna try to have you buried within 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? And our culture was no different. A dead body is unclean. They gonna get that done and over with. Ain't gonna be the body sitting up at the morgue. Then we having to wait and sitting in the room with a dead body. You know what I'm talking about? Then we having a funeral and then going all that junk. Absolutely not. That's why really funerals and all that stuff over here are so expensive. Because it's the extras that niggas be doing. You know what I'm saying? If you do it like that, probably the most expensive thing you would pay for might be the plot and the headstone. Because niggas be wanting nice, fancy caskets. They used to put niggas in wooden boxes, man, and drop them right on in the ground, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, truth be told, they ain't even put niggas in no box. They just put a nigga in the ground, put him in a cave, and went on their way. Wrapped him up, put him on in there. Yeah.
So, like how his somebody like parents like that within 24 hours.
Muslims do it all the time. The only thing that would drag it out here in America is the circumstances of your death. If they want to run an autopsy.
Yeah.
That's it.
And how quick you can grab a plot.
Yeah, if you didn't already have one.
24-hour process if you don't already have one. That just do take a couple of days to get a spot for you.
But if you already had a plot,
yeah.
As soon as they release the body. Yeah, as soon as they release the body.
If you died under the doctor's care, you can't be buried in 24 hours. If you like you had cancer or whatever.
If you was in the hospital.
Yeah.
If a nigga found you dead in the house, no.
That's just because they already know you're bad and fresh. So, yeah, you know why they make that.
Yeah, we know how they die. We ain't got to do all that. Nigga, they found you in the house dead with a remote control in your hand.
It ain't funny, but boy.
They want to know what happened to you just in case it might be a homicidal situation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're like, now see.
Not for old folks, though, when they already dead in the bed.
Yeah, but see, then it'd be the family members if they want the autopsy right.
Exactly.
Because we don't live in a society over here where people want to bury people that swiftly. Now, some people, like this here, boy, white folks get you in the ground quick. White folks, yeah, Grandma Mary, she died on Friday, and they got underground on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? White people was the only people I seen have funerals in the middle of the week. Now I done noticed in this last 10, 15 years, niggas having funerals in the middle of the week. The niggas used to only have funerals on Saturday. Now these niggas have funerals every day, but Sunday. Ain't that about it? Didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That makes sense, though.
Florida law say you won't defile the day of the sun.
You messing up the church.
You defiling Satan.
Messing up the church.
You defiling our God. But you could drop one on the Lord's day, you punk bastard.
Dang, well, that's tough.
That's tough. Let's see what that law say.
Dang, that mean you can't drop a nigga in the plot, huh?
Not on Sunday.
You do that.
We finna look it up.
Yeah, you gotta find this. You gotta see that funeral on Sunday.
Yeah, it would be. I thought they were saying like there, like you can't go out to no cemetery and drop a nigga on Sunday. I thought that was the law.
Now it does say there are no Florida laws that require you to be buried in a casket. It says, however, each individual cemetery might have their own requirements.
I feel you.
No state laws in Florida prohibit burial on private property. Florida law states that if you are not, according to Florida state statutes, if the final disposition does not occur within 24 hours, the body must either be refrigerated or embalmed. There's no restricting on spreading ashes. I ain't seen nothing for the Sunday part. That ain't come up yet. Oh, he said when his granddaddy died, they dressed him up in the funeral home and his families, the women were crying and hugging. I mean, it don't make you shiver. I mean, it's just unclean. I mean, even in ancient time, even in our time, people touch dead bodies. You know what I'm saying? You just knew you were going to be unclean. It just wouldn't be something like if somebody died and they'd be like, oh, this nigga dead. You know what I'm saying? But because somebody, you know what I'm saying? But most brews it's really more dependent on what their position was within the land. They were not going to be willing, because truth be told, if you in the room with the dead body, you unclean. You ain't even got to touch it. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, you might as well go and hug and kiss it. You know what I'm talking about? But I ain't hugging and kissing nothing. I ain't touching no dead body. I don't want to see what your skin feel like. I just want to see what it feel like. For what?
Who said that?
Oh, a lot of people say that. Because they curious.
They said the body cold.
No, they say that skin feel different.
I mean, because most people, it be embalmed already, so that junk is full. That junk full of pus, whatever they put in there.
Little fluid.
She looked like her sister.
Well, that's because people, no, I ain't gonna say that there, because depending on how a nigga died, niggas look, them niggas have to work Sunday.
Nah, you right. Yeah, you right.
Because Auntie didn't look like herself. That didn't look like her, like, oh, that she just laying in here sleeping. That cancer ravaged her face. Her face looked different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that junk look different. That's why you shoot. Niggas be getting shot in the head. What they say, oh boy, Fulio people said nigga ain't had no face.
But that's what he's saying. Yeah, if they fix it, nigga, it ain't gonna be right.
It ain't gonna look like you accustomed.
It's close.
No, that's why it's closed.
I'm putting a veil. This ain't that.
But most of the time, like you said, if a nigga gotta reconfigure you, the nigga really be closed casket. Cause nigga already know they gonna walk up to the casket, nigga gonna look like somebody else. Nobody wanna see that.
Bro, you got niggas, man. Come on, bro. Niggas' whole heads get blown off. You know what I'm saying? Eyeballs knocked out.
You don't
want to see that. You don't want to see the reconfiguration.
I'm just saying, the last one I saw.
That's a heck of an occupation.
They fixed up. That's what they did. I agree.
Like my grandma looked normal. You know what I'm saying? She looked normal. She had a heart attack. There ain't nothing they had to do. Yeah, depending on how you die.
Her skin did look a little darker, but she looked the same.
For what?
It depends on like.
I wouldn't know. I ain't never had to use those services.
You gotta pay extra for that. But that nigga had a GoFundMe, and everyone that nigga.
Hey man, damn one of you niggas ought to be having no GoFundMe, man. You niggas ought to have life insurance to pay for your funeral, man. Cause I ain't doing no damn GoFundMe for me. Not just here, you on your own.
I told you now. I told you once.
I ain't doing no GoFundMe for me. You know what I'm talking about? Well, come on, man. Life insurance ain't up about $10, $20 a month, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, when the service started, they closed that.
I ain't doing no GoFundMe. You be having niggas in whole congregation talking about we need a GoFundMe for this nigga funeral. That nigga need to be whooped. Big grown rusty nigga ain't got no life insurance. You ain't got to have a life insurance to give him a lump sum just to pay for the funeral. That's different for a child.
You start like so, like, huh? You my best friend.
I know that, but shoot, nigga, that's when you get that term life insurance. You know what I'm saying? No, that's when you can come in there and pull tax free.
I've been paying on this.
Yeah, I'm taking a couple bands out.
Let me get a little bit of that.
Give me a little bit of that.
I'll put it back.
I ain't putting it back.
Tim, I ain't putting it back.
You
gotta pay on it.
It don't matter. I ain't
putting it back regardless.
I ain't putting it back. I'm a flipping. He put himself back. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back over here, man. Let me get to this verse over here, man. Jeremiah 16 and 14, man. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, shall not be no more, said Yahuwah live, that brought you up out of the land of Yasharal. Brought up the sons of Yasharal out of the land of Egypt. And Yahuwah lived that brought up the sons of Yasharal from the land of the north, from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again to their own land that I gave unto their fathers. Let's drop down to this verse 19. Well, matter of fact, I'll keep on going. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahuwah, they shall fish them. I will send for many hunters, they shall hunt for them from every mountain and from every hill out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon their ways, they're not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they defiled my land. They filled my inheritance with the carcasses of the detestable and abominable things. See how they go back, we were talking about the other day? Well, Yahuwah said, I'm going to tighten you up. Look what they did to that baby. Who dropped it? She sounded like it hurt too. Oh, Yahuwah, my strength, my fortress, my refuge, in the day of the affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto you from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things where there is no profit. Shall a man make gods to himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, once caused them to know, I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahuwah. Now that last part with that tie in too, because he did that to Egypt. He destroyed that which was no gods. That's why he gonna make you remember Rahab, and he gonna do the same thing to Babylon, because he told you that in Jeremiah 50. I was just setting that something up for something a little later, because he telling you about, I'll make mention of who? Egypt and Babylon. If you don't remember nothing else in the book, you're supposed to remember them, man. Let's go back to Lamentations 3 for a little swing. That's a heck of a, this nigga say she wanted to be a mortician. My homeboy, Pamela was morticians, man. Them niggas got caught up because them niggas was stealing. Stealing from the dead body, nigga. Nah, you know them niggas go in there, put a nigga in there with the gold watch. Nigga sliding it off. Taking chains. They like, shoot, that nigga dead anyway.
How do they know they stole it?
I mean, I guess, shoot, they just let niggas got caught up.
Dug him up last night.
Yeah, niggas know what's supposed to be in there.
But how they know to dig it up?
No, I think them niggas got caught up. I don't know how I didn't know them niggas got caught up, because that nigga was telling us they were stealing. And he was also telling us that it don't cost that much to bury nobody. And what they really do is they try to upcharge you and get you to get this and get that and get that. It was like, basically, man, you supposed to be, and of course, this was 23 years ago. The nigga like, man, you supposed to be able to bury a nigga for less than $5,000, if that much. You don't want any kind of casket. Shoot, nigga, she don't know.
I know we're talking about you though.
Yeah, you sitting there looking like this here. You know you're gonna want that gold, and she's gonna be real comfortable. That nigga dead.
That nigga said she's gonna be real comfy.
They had TV in it. They had a TV with a, you know, they on the TV was showing all the memories and stuff like that. I was like, that's so sad.
Man, you could throw a tarp down there, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga dead.
Yes. You know, it goes to your point, like you said, people just spend the extra. Because on TV it shows, you know, they like they pictures. They'll get the people.
She said dead bodies hard like stone and cold. And you know what the nasty part is? Well, you had niggas at funeral homes having sex with dead bodies. It's nasty. Yeah.
What they gonna do to dead body?
Ungodly stuff. Come on to Lamentations 3:27.
Somebody just not getting anything. I seen it on with Martin and Will Smith.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, right, they talking about the real cold. You know what I'm talking about? Remember when Elijah raised the little boy up, his flesh was cold. But he hadn't been dead that long. You remember when Lazarus, Yahusha ain't going nowhere near that dead body. He said he had been in there about 4 days. The Lord ain't walking there.
Go to your room.
Give me 5 on your way out the door. What school you in? Lamentations 3:27. Make it 25. Yahuwah is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seek him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahuwah. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sit alone and keep silence because he borne it upon him. He put his mouth in the dust, if so be there may be hope. He give his cheek to him that smite him. He is filled full with reproach, for the Lord will not cast off forever. Though he cause grief, yet he will have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he do not afflict willingly, nor grieve the sons of men. This is what we want to talk about. Afflict willingly. Y'all know what willingly is? Look up the word willingly and tell me what you find. Little buddy, you all right? You sure? Because I seen you running in here. They said you was a track star. Layup. So what does this mean? Afflict, which is a nah. He will not depress or afflict the heart of anyone. See, this is a difference, right? Yahuwah did not afflict the heart of Mashiach. He may afflict your soul, but he's not going to afflict your heart. Yahuwah don't operate like that. No, he say nor grieve. Grieve is Yagah, which is to cause grief. See, you know what actually gets grieved? It be your flesh that get grieved. You know what I'm talking about? See, come over here to Romans 8. That's right, the heart. Yes, sir. I don't even know if I want Romans 8. Yeah, you can go up to Romans 8 and 32. Matter of fact, there you go. That's not what I want to write. 8 and 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the esteem which should be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature, wait for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who had subject the same in hope. See, that's the same thing when you're looking at being afflicted in the heart. You're subject to vanity, but that wasn't Yahuwah's desire for you to be subject to that. You know why you're subject to vanity, Michael? Because you looked up like you were intrigued. Do you know why you're subject to vanity? Because you choose to be. People, you know what vanity is, right? Worthlessness, things, nothing. People subject themselves to nothing on purpose. That's what we choose to do. That goes back to the conversation that we had earlier about now that a woman has the ability to choose her mate, she subjects herself to vanity willingly. How does that correlate? You live in America, and what can you do in America? You can worship any God you want. You willingly subject yourself to vanity. You got people who say, I know this ain't the New Year's, but I'm going to go out and party anyway. Want to revel for Kronos, want to revel for Janus. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the significance of what you're doing. See, this is my thing, like I told you last night. I wouldn't focus on the New Year part. Nick, if you're going to talk about idolatry, then just talk about idolatry. But make sure you talk about idolatry every time it comes up. Not just waiting for January 1st, November 25th, and December 25th, and whenever Easter is, and then you don't want to talk about idolatry. You primed and got all your verses and videos ready for Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving. You's a bust. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember we talked about every idol god that's mentioned in the book, how we'll point out idols. If you go and point out idols, point them out every time. And destroy every idol you see, not just the idols you think are important. Like, nigga, I'm not wasting time talking about no festival of Lupercalia. And the people ain't got no business Valentine's Day. You need one day to show somebody you love them if that's their business. What you care for? They ain't doing nothing but spending gifts for penis and vagina they been getting. So let them do it. What that bother you for? You more worried about them people celebrating Valentine's versus the fact that they having illicit sex with someone who they ain't planning on marrying and bringing bastard children in the world who they ain't planning on raising properly. But Valentine's Day bothers you more. Now, how that work? These niggas done celebrated 5 Valentine's Day together, ain't married, got 2.5 kids. Because he ain't show up the third one he is. You know what I'm talking about? And you ain't got no problem with that. Why you keeping Valentine's Day, brother? How about you tell this nigga why you ain't married that woman, sir? You know what I'm saying? Why is this your 5th Valentine in the last 5 years? When you gonna stop being a whore? You know, I heard your man say a man can't be no whore. That was the first thing I ever heard in my life. That nigga Anton said a man can't be no whore. Lying to me, you who would say you a whoremonger? Trying to say a woman can be a hoe, but a man can't. The Lord says that is a lie. He just adds he don't call her a whore, just a whore. He call her a harlot. But when it's a man, he put that mong on there. I mean, you're a whore monster. You know what I'm talking about? You know, that's what the Apocrypha said. Every piece of bread sweet to a whoremonger. That nigga hit anything. Man of value ain't putting his penis in anything. Talking about, I believe in discipline, but a man can't be no hoe. You don't believe in no book, nigga. Why you got your hand in your pants, boy? What kind of pocket you got?
It's a hole in that pocket.
My apologies.
That boy says it's a hole in that pocket.
My apologies, sir. My apologies. My apologies. I'm like, boy, you wow. That's a pocket. My apologies.
That's TMI.
My apologies. Come on back to Lamentations. I'm like, man, this boy sitting in here like an old man. I was like, what is he doing? What's up, Joe? Verse 34, Lamentations 3. Say to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth. When we look at crush, y'all should remember it's been, a matter of fact, I can't even say that. It's been a while. When you look at crushed, this is dakar, which is to be contrite or to be broken. He does not seek to break under his feet all the prisoners of the earth. Who are the prisoners of the earth? I'm gonna let you live, Michael. You don't know nothing about this. I don't think you was present for our foray in talking about prisoners. Asur is the word for prisoner here. Aleph, Samat, Yad, and Rosh is prisoner, is captive, is bondmen. Y'all remember about prisoners? What you know about prisoners? What y'all know about prisoners? What life?
Prisoner of hope.
That ain't work.
Oh, the life right here.
Well, number one, you got Zechariah. You receive double, you prisoners of hope. Got Ecclesiastes 4:14. He came out of prison to reign. Everyone that is born in his kingdom shall reign with him. Not captive to sin, not subject to these prisoners here. He ain't talking about. He talking about his own prisoners. You got prisoners of hope. Zechariah 8 for those that don't know clearly. I ain't gonna say clearly, just don't know. Or maybe don't remember. Should be better stated. Joe, you ain't got my money, Joe. It's chapter 9, excuse me. 9 and 9. Joe, where my money, Joe? You ain't got my money, Joe. Give me 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 my money. 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 Give me my money, Joe. 9 and 9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Zechariah 9 and 9. O daughter of Jerusalem, behold, your king come unto you. He is just, having salvation, lowly, riding upon the ass and upon the colt foal of an ass. I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the horse from Jerusalem. The battle bow shall be cut off. He shall speak shalom unto the heathen. His dominion be from sea to sea, from the river to the ends of the earth. As for you also, by the blood of your covenant, I have sent forth your prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn you to the strongholds, you prisoners of hope. Even today I declare, I will render double unto you. See, prison sometime, man, you ain't a prisoner of sin. Remember what Paul said. He was a prisoner to the Lord. That's what he said, man. You know what I'm talking about? So when he's telling you that he's not seeking to destroy his own prisoners, he doesn't afflict the hearts of men willingly. It's not what he's out here doing. Yahuwah does not do that. You don't see Yahuwah afflicting anyone. He didn't even afflict his own son. He didn't spare his son, but he didn't afflict him. Because you know that, because he didn't afflict Job. Was that him? I think not. Go back to Lamentations 3, what we're talking about. He said he does not afflict the hearts, nor grieve the sons of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth. Look at verse 35, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High. What does it mean when he said to turn away the right? That's mishpat, that's judgment. So that means he's not going to turn proper judgment away from a man. Again, we talk about what it said with a Mashiach from the prophet when he said wrong judgment, proceed. See, you could be in a situation and you feeling like you got people when stuff happened to them, they feel like Yahuwah doing it to them. And Yahuwah ain't doing nothing to you. He don't afflict the hearts of men. That's not what he does. Y'all should know that from Kings. Y'all don't remember that from Kings? With Ahab? Yahuwah didn't send that lion spirit. Yahuwah wasn't that lion spirit. He allowed a lion spirit to deceive him. He didn't afflict that man's mind. Remember, it said Yahuwah don't tempt any man. No, it is tempted with evil. Yahuwah don't do that.
Check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Find out you're going to be because guess what? Blaspheming Yahuwah ain't good for your health. Man, Joe, man, you ain't got my money, cuz. You said so. Well, I'm finna snatch your hair out your scalp, boy. No. Muffin. She sleep. That nigga, they'll tell you, go get my pistol. Get my pistol for you, boy. No. You think you tough, don't you, Joe? I got something for you, Joe. He said to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approve not. Let's look at subvert. When you look at subvert, what is that? That is avath. That is to bend or to make crooked or to pervert. He is not going to pervert a man in his cause, which is contention, which is rob or dispute or a case at law. Did he subvert Yahusha in his cause? No. And you know why he didn't do it? Because the law says a man must have a what? A just weight and a just balance. So and the reason why this is in the book of Job tells into that. You cannot look at the outside appearance of something and then make a judgment, oh, Yahuwah is against him. See, if something happened to somebody, that don't mean anything. But Yahuwah is not the one doing it. Remember what he said? He said, man, unless my father You couldn't do nothing unless it was like he let stuff happen. He doesn't do it himself. Just allows it. Again, this is a you understand it because you'll run into people and they always say, "Why God let this happen?" See, they don't know the man. They don't know how he operates. Why he let children get killed? Why wouldn't he let them get killed? That's the question. Why would you assume that he shouldn't let children get killed? What impression of him did he give you to lead you to believe that that's something that shouldn't happen? Why did he let women get raped? Who said that he let them? Why are you trying to put the responsibility of a man onto him? Why he let my brother get killed? Why was your brother selling dope? How about you ask that question? All them young niggas that's in them songs in the city that niggas be talking about getting killed, for the most part, all them young niggas was out here thugging. Right or wrong? For the most part, all them young niggas was in the street. He just wasn't some regular happy-go-lucky high school kids. Every time they post pictures of these niggas brandishing fire. Every time. Big guns, too.
It ain't no count by killing them either. Like, you killing innocent niggas is not what's making these niggas songs go viral. It's the fact that these niggas touching niggas in the street.
Indeed.
That's why they bragging about it.
That's why they bragging about it. And some of the niggas who got killed, allegedly they done killed people.
Everybody catching that.
Right. That's where you getting your clout.
Yeah.
You getting clout from hitting niggas who retaliate.
But we looking at it as the age and why he letting this happen. When the man say you live by the sword, you're gonna die by it.
That's it.
Verse 37. Who is he that say it come to pass when the Lord commanded it not? Uh-oh. Who gonna open his mouth and say that? And of course, it's got his name right there. You got Amar, Hayah, Adonai, who brings into existence a word, but the master himself. Because that's what the doggone beast gonna do. Try to say something gonna happen. It's also Deuteronomy 13. Don't matter if Yahuwah didn't say it, don't even worry about it. He said, out of the Most High proceed not evil and good. Wherefore do a living man complain? Wherefore do a living man complain, a man of punishment for his sins? Did you hear Yahushua complaining about the punishment? Now he that was just suffered for the unjust. Well, what they done did to that baby? It was Sire. It wasn't Sire. Oh, I thought it was Joy. So it was Joy. I think you was. I think you moved real quick. It was Joy. It was Joy. Joy did it. Did Yahushua complain for his punishment? Niggas be complaining. Remember what it told you in Peter? Where he say, if you suffer rightfully, but take it with, or wrongfully, but take it with patience, what does that make it to Elohim? Makes it acceptable. He said, but if you be buffered in your faults, what thank have you? Oh, I don't understand the significance of that bad. Look at verse 40. Let us search and try our ways and turn again to Yahuwah. Uh-oh. Let us lift up our heart with our hands under Elohim and the Shamahim. What you think that means when you say lift up your heart with your hands?
Present your heart. Yeah, present off your.
Now I want you to know you got Ka for hands here. I know what that is.
Open palm.
That's an open palm.
That's the allow. Allow him to enter to your home.
He say lift up, you know what that is? Spread apart and have a good prayer with Kadash hands without doubt and wrath. Show forth your wounds. You've been hanging with him, show your wounds. He said, we have transgressed and rebelled, and you have not pardoned. You have covered with anger and persecuted us. You have slain, and you have not pitied. You covered yourself with a cloud that our parents should not pass through. Oh, what did he do when he was on that stage? He covered himself with a cloud. No prayers was getting through. My Elohim, why have you forsaken me? Ain't no prayer getting through. You have made us the offscoring and refuse in the midst of the people. Y'all know what an offscoring is. Y'all educated people, ain't it? Well, if you don't know, that's refuse, poop, sewage, waste, if you would. He said you the waste in them. That's how they seen him too. And of course, refuse is trash. That word here is maos. You see that? You are considered to be trash amongst the people. That's tough. That's how the Lord was seen, and that's how you see. If they saw him that way, they're going to see you that way. That's how the world see you, trash. He said, all our enemies have opened their mouth against us. Fear and snares come upon us, desolation and destruction. My eye run down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. My eye trickled down and ceased not without any intermission. To Yahuwah look down and behold from Shamahim. My heart afflict, my eye affect my heart because of all the daughters of my city. My enemies chase me sore like a bird without cause. Uh-oh, we already talked about it. They hated me without a cause. And what they after? They was always trying to get him. We just short on time. We got about 3 spots to talk about. They chased him in the city. Songs of Solomon, Zechariah, all time. They cut my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. I remember a long time ago, we had some nigga who didn't believe on the Lord on the phone. I say, well, brother, who this talking about? I know it ain't Jesus. I say, shoot, nigga, you said it, not me. I didn't say it was anybody. I just asked you, who was it talking about? I say, when did Jeremiah get thrown in the dungeon and they put a stone on it? I say, the book don't say nothing about that, sir. That nigga say, F you, nigga. I say, well, shoot. Who ain't give you your cereal this month? That nigga was upset. It was one nigga a long time ago, man, I talked to who was in Tampa about something about that David couldn't be Melchizedek. I'll kill you, nigga. I'm just in Tampa. I'm 3 hours away. I'll drive up. I say, well, shoot, nigga, you want my address or you want me to wait for you? That nigga was mad, boy. All because I told him, prove that he was a priest, king, and all of these things, man. And he talking about he ain't had no book for it. No, he talking about David with the ephod. But he said that David was a priest after Melchizedek. And I was like, well, read it to me. I say, cause shoot, he from Judah. Show me he was a priest. F you, nigga. When you look at dungeon, that's pit. So you know what that is? That's a grave. Y'all know what that's at. That's in Matthew 28. He said, I called upon your name, O Yahuwah, out of the low dungeon. How did Yahushua call upon the name of Yahuwah out of a low pit? And the word here is takati for low, that's lowest. Bor for dungeon, which is pit, cistern, or well. A word that you all know. How did he call out of the lowest grave unto Yahuwah? How was Yahushua able to pull that off? That is how he did it. His blood cried out. There you go. That's it. This is what it said. You heard my voice, hide not your ear at my breathing, at my cry. You drew near in the day that I called upon you. You said, fear not. O Lord, you plead the causes of my soul. You have redeemed my life. O Yahuwah, you have seen my wrong. Judge you my cause. You have seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. You heard their reproach, O Yahuwah, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me and their devices against me all the day. Remember, Yahushua already knew what all these people were going to do to him, did he not? And he told his disciples what they were going to do to him. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. Let's see what we got here for music. Mangina, a derisive song is what that is. That he was the individual that they got up to mock. Render unto them a recompense, O you who according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, your curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the Shamahim of Yahuwah. Y'all know what that is, right? Because you have to sit back and look at it, right? None of Jeremiah chapter 3 is talking about what happened in Jerusalem. He's talking about specifically what happened to him. And what he's asking for is the death and the destruction of every single solitary person that went against it. Every single solitary person, exactly, Sharon. Every single solitary person that persecuted and was responsible for Yahushua's death or said, let his blood be on our sons, let them be persecuted and destroyed and let them be removed from the earth, Shalom, Christina, and destroyed. I'll end it with this 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, just for that matter. Grandma, where my money at? Why you coming in here looking like that? And where your covering at? See, you coming in here out of pocket. So now I got to cut you. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 5. Which is a manifest token, make it full. So we esteem you in the houses of Elohim for your patience and faith and all your persecutions and tribulations that you endure. Which is a manifest token of the righteous judgment of Elohim, that you be counted worthy of the kingdom of Elohim, for which you also suffer. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Elohim to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And to who you are troubled, rest with us, and with the Lord Yahushua shall be revealed from Shamahim with his mighty Malakim. In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them who know not Elohim and obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the esteem of his power. When he shall come to be esteemed and is faithful and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. So just know, their time is coming. They will be destroyed. They will suffer accordingly. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the world. We'll stop right here for now. We're pretty much good at Lamentations. There's 2 more chapters, but I appreciate y'all time this evening, man. Bless y'all also. Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing, man. We'll pick this back up on Wednesday. I know y'all willing. Hey, I don't even remember what day Purim is on. I know that's done about a month or so. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to make it do what it do, man. Talk about a few things, but just remember this one here, right? Number one, Yahuwah don't afflict nobody. He's not going to remove your judgment from you. Praise Yah indeed, brother. Shalom today. He ain't going to take your judgment from you. You know what I'm talking about? He's not going to do wrong judgment. He's going to reward you according to what you've earned, according to your faith. And just remember, man, everybody going to get the same reward for the same work, man. You're working for the same cause, man. You ought to be thankful you were born when you were born, because you get the better end of the stick than the people who came before you. Tell you that. But again, blessings out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, Yahuwah willing, till the next one. Hey, man, y'all better calm yourself down about some lollipops, or you niggas ain't going to get it. Oh, I got to sit down with that. We ain't even did that yet. No, Monte was asking about the feast day. He ain't even did that yet. So you got to sit down and make the calculation.